Hi everyone. I know that many of you are well on your way to finalizing your research questions, discussion board questions, and are working on your survey questions now. I've created a template for you to help check and make sure that all of your questions are aligned. And what we mean when the questions are aligned is that the questions that you write for your discussion board and your items for the survey will actually help you answer your research questions, that you'll get the data that you need to answer them. So let me just explain how this template works. And first of all, I'm going to get one that has some information already in it. Here we go. And the way it works is that in this first cell, you type your first research question. And then here in the second one, you type your second and your third research question. Then below that, on this row, you would enter in your discussion board questions, and each cell might have multiple discussion board questions in it. So you're writing in the discussion board questions that you think will help you gather the data, the qualitative data, that you're going to need to answer your research question. And sometimes writing research questions as you're going through this process is a bit of an iterative process. You might think you have your research questions just right, but then when you're working on your discussion board questions, you see it's going to be hard to collect that kind of data. So then you can go back and you can tweak your research questions a little bit. So in each grid, in each cell rather, you would type in the discussion board questions that will help you answer your research questions. Now for some questions, you might not have any discussion board questions for some of the research questions. And that's okay as long as you have a survey question that helps you to answer it. So in this last row, you have your survey questions and how they align with the research questions as well. Now, the only thing you don't want is to have one research question with no corresponding discussion board or survey questions. Then you know that you're going to have to write some questions to help answer that and collect the data that you need. You also have to consider the flip side. If you have a discussion board question or a survey question that you've written and you see that it doesn't really match with any of your research questions, then you're going to have to take that question out because it probably is outside of the focus of your research study. Now, one exception to that would be demographic information. You might need to or want to, in your survey questions, collect information about gender or information about how many years somebody's been teaching, and that might give you a slightly different way of looking at the data, and they might not align exactly with your research questions, and that's fine. Now for this week's assignment that's due on Wednesday, I've already put up a simpler template, and if you've already started to fill that one in and use it, that's fine. Otherwise, I suggest that you use this one just to double check yourself so that you know that when all of your data comes in, you'll be able to easily analyze it and start answering each research question. As always, if you have any questions, just drop me an email or text me and we can arrange a time to talk. I've talked to quite a few people already over the phone, and it really seems to help to be able to talk through creating research questions and discussion board questions. So I'm happy to help.